A first reaction to Heaven and Hell by Black Sabbath. So this track features on the album with the same name, Heaven and Hell, released in 1979. Now this track and album are super important to the band's history because it features a new lineup with a new frontman, Ronnie James Dio. Now the reason why I feel like this is super crazy is because I felt like the madness that Ozzy Osbourne brought to Black Sabbath was sort of the signature of the band. Say alongside the brilliance of Tommy Iommi, Ozzy was just as important to add to the atmosphere created by the band, which had this super chaotic, apocalyptic, heavy feel to it. Regardless, I am open to hearing this new lineup and this new frontman. Compared to the last songs, War Pigs and Into the Void, which absolutely blew me away, I'm very curious to see how the chemistry of the band transforms with this new frontman. So let's check out this song. Okay, here we go with the reaction. This is Black Sabbath, Heaven and Hell. It's got a new vocalist after they got rid of Ozzy Osbourne, so I'm super curious to hear this one. Let's check this out. I've got the lyrics and my Twitch chat here with me. Ooh. Wow.
Do me wrong, you're a bringer of evil. The devil is never a maker. The less that you give, you're a taker. So it's on and on and on. It's heaven and hell. Oh well.
Okay, now totally different vibe to the way Ozzy approaches his music. Now, do I love his voice? Yeah, he's got a super powerful voice, man, but it's a totally different take to Ozzy's. Ozzy's thing is kind of like this madman, and that internal thing that he has comes through in his vocals too. He had early Sabbath had that crazy kind of manic element to it, and this is definitely doesn't have that. It's another vibe. It's a much more vocally impressive vibe. His vocals are certainly more traditionally strong. And Sabbath has a way of making all their music sound like they're trying to soundtrack the apocalypse. This is no different. It certainly sounds like that Heaven and Hell. It seems to fit the kind of theme that we got going on here. Sing me a song, you're a singer. Do me a wrong, you're a bringer of evil. So yeah, as I was saying, again, it's kind of soundtracking the apocalypse. So it's on and on and on. It's heaven and hell. Oh well, the lover of mine is not a singer. The ending is just the beginning. So very poetic lyrics. So at least the lyrics stayed alongside. I believe that Iommi is a big contributor to the lyrics as well. So I guess they'll always keep that element. Some people are saying he's their favorite singer of all time. I can kind of see that. riff making machine, Tony Iommi.
Well, if it seems to be real, it's illusion. For every moment of truth, there's confusion in life. Love can be seen as the answer, but nobody bleeds for the dancer. And it's on and on and on and on.
Okay, interesting. So the vibe of Black Sabbath pre James Dio, I think believe is his name, it's totally different, man. I mean, listen, music and a band has to evolve over time. You can't be always making the same things. If you ask me which sort of vibe I prefer, I'll certainly say that I like the earlier vibe of Sabbath a little bit more. This is certainly of its time in the sense that they've adapted to what I believe is like much more ballady style of 80s music. It's much more bigger, a sort of larger than life kind of thing. And certainly the singer suits it. I still like it. I still love the vibe of this thing, but it's been twisted a little bit. It's been changed slightly. Oh, great reverb on it. Okay, here we go. I think we're switching up.
They say that life's a carousel, spinning fast, you gotta ride it well. The world is full of kings and queens who blind your eyes and steal your dreams. It's heaven and hell. Well, and they'll tell you black is really white. The moon is just the sun at night. And when you walk in golden halls, you get to keep the golden balls. It's heaven and hell. Oh no. You got to bleed for the dancer. Look for the answer.
Wow. What a crazy track. It's got so many different phases to it. Gentle, serene now. Oh my lord. Iommi is such a master guitarist. Wow. How can he go from being able to create the great metal riffs that he has and then be able to do this? I mean, I don't know if he's always included in the greatest guitarists of all time. I've not seen too many lists myself, but to me, he's up there with the very, very best of them, man. He is a riff-making god. He's so fantastic at it. He has so many in him, and he's also writing these songs. As someone was mentioning here, I think it was Brez, he wrote this song too, which is absolutely fantastic to see. He's got so much range in his ability too. So let's talk about the vibe of the track. I mean, it totally sounded like they were like soundtracking the apocalypse, which is like their greatest thing that they're able to do. So people were saying the bass work was unbelievable. Brez was saying Geza on the bass killing it. Listen, Black Sabbath has some of the most fantastic bass work around. Even in their earlier stuff, it's so apparent that the bass is so fantastically done. I mean, I think of War Pigs and that brilliant bass work that was done. Bobby's saying he's in my top 10. It's got to be there, and it's jazz influence. I think the drumming is also jazz influence too. Brilliant song, man. Totally different vibe. It was more anthemic than their earlier work, where they were kind of just going for the throat on some of their earlier stuff, man. It's evolves over time. Now, which version of Black Sabbath do I love more? Listen, the first earlier stuff with Ozzy has a special place in my heart. I think some of his madness rubbed off into the music, and he created this manic sort of energy in the music, which I absolutely love. But James Dio's voice kind of makes up for it. You know, he's got such a fantastic range on him and power to his voice. So it's cool to see the evolution that the band was able to do so much even after Ozzy left, because he was doing all that mad shit, biting off bats' heads and stuff. Great track, man. Thumbs up.